Hi everybody, welcome to this Pro and Expert Division playthrough for the Province Playoffs tournament here on the BK Golf Clash YouTube channel. All 9 holes here of Lake Wabasca in this video for you. Thumbs up would be greatly appreciated, and if you're new here, very warm welcome. Please hit the subscribe button, totally free to do so and helps me out a lot. Now, there is a strong wind modifier on this one. These examples here are with the normal wind ranges, however, the routes and suggestions shown are still absolutely valid. You just may need to tweak the spins or the adjustments slightly in order to get the drops. A little bit of work needed, obviously, with the increased wind strengths, but like I said, the routes are still good to go. Timestamps in the video description down below. There will be some extra expert shots released when the tournament begins as well. Good luck, here we go. Playing with the APOC, 4 top spin, 3 bars side spin to the right. You don't need the level 6, however you could play this very easily with an APOC 4 and even an APOC level 3. You would need to push up a few yards. So plus 10 with APOC 5 plus, and it's at max power 3 with APOC 4. The adjustment is max plus 10. Max plus 10, and the amount of top spin is determined really by the wind angle. If you have more tailwind, you'd need to reduce the top spin slightly. Going with just under 2 balls of curl to the right, no overpower, hitting perfect, and the right spin and the curl combined with the top spin will bounce in the middle of the fairway, second bounce in the rough, and then it will roll out and onto the green for a simple putt for the eagle. Could even push that a little bit further if you want to get it close to the pin. We're going to play a rough bump, as that is, in my opinion, the best chance for a hole in 1. The bounce over is a little bit tricky. I'm keeping the wind below 8 miles an hour, as this was from a previous expert tournament, and I'm playing with the quarterback. 4.2 backspin, 1 bar side spin to the left. Setting up here with the inner or the green ring touching the rough line, ball guide aiming just around left side of the cup. Very close though to middle of cup. It's important to dial in your aim depending on your wind angle. In this predominantly tailwind angle, I'm playing mid plus 15 power 3 settings. Mid plus 15 power 3. Different wind angles may cause you to adjust to a higher or lower point, so make sure you take a token or two if you want to try and dial something in yourself. Perfect ball away, catches the rough beautifully, and the backspin grabs, and we drop that one right at pin for a lovely hole in 1. Hole number 3 now. Nasty wind angle to show you on this one, but a very good way even with that to get an albatross. Playing with the extra mile, obviously Apocalypse would work as well, or Thor's hammer. A few clicks of top spin and 1 bar side spin to the left. Playing with the Kingmaker just to reduce the wind here down to 5.8, and I'm setting up at plus 3 with the extra mile level 8. Red ring touching the rough on the left. The adjustment is max plus 10. The reason I use a Kingmaker is to cut down on the amount of overpower needed. Just takes me into the red with the adjustment, so I'm going to add a few clicks of overpower on. You will see the circle just starting to shake slightly, but it's very manageable and easy enough to hit perfect. No curl, because the slope on the fairway and the left spin will do exactly what we want. And we want to finish there in the middle of the fairway around 305 to 310 yards. Second shot, we're going to go with the rough bump to try and take the second bounce out of the equation. So I'm checking my club distance, going to min line and max line, then I'm adding some spin, 4.2, 4.3 top spin, a little bit of side spin to the left, and the position that works nicely here is having the red ring completely inside the rough line. So you'll see there the top of the red ring touches the rough line, everything else fitting within the rough. In terms of the red ring, ball guide just through the hole to compensate for the headwind angle. The adjustment is true club distance minus 10, so that's TC on the notepad. I estimate this to be around 60 or 65% slider if I remember correctly. That's the distance of club just beyond medium distance, so I'm playing 60 or 65% slider. Always check the distance yourself, but a perfect ball catches the rough nicely, and the top spin takes us to the pin for an albatross. I'm going to show you a bounce over shot here for hole number 4. There is a rough bump as well, a little bit glitchy, but it still has a chance if you can find a consistent spot. Playing with a sniper, and then I'm adding spin. It's 3.5 backspin, a little bit of side spin to the left, setting up with the red ring touching the bunker at +9 with sniper level 10. Will be +11 with sniper level 9. So power 3 ball is advisable here. Then the adjustment is max +20, power 2. Max +20 in this wind angle, again keeping the wind below 8 miles an hour, something we do quite a lot in Expert just to increase our chances. But you don't have to play with a wind 4 ball if you get high wind. All depends what suits your ball bag and equipment the best and your play style. But that drops in very nicely for a hole in one. So there's one option with the 4th hole, par 3. On to the 5th hole now. Tricky one to actually drop an eagle on unless you go for the aggressive rough bump. I'm going to play the more general approach here. The drive is the same regardless of what approach you play, and I like the quarterback for the ball guide and accuracy. Just over 1 bar of backspin and a little bit of side spin to the left. White ring touching the rough. If you have headwind angle or crosswind, then I would reduce the backspin. Make sure your first bounce is comfortably over the rough, otherwise you may clip the rough and roll out, or not roll out if you are a little bit unlucky. 1 on 1 is the adjustment, so 7.1 in wind. I'm adjusting 7.1 rings. Nice simple setup here. Bounces nicely over the rough and approaches the end of the fairway. Anywhere around here is fine. 294, 295 yards. Second shot, if you want to go with a rough bump, then a side spin 4 ball and the sniper will be the best way of attacking the pin. It is tricky though, because you are just downhill into the bunker or slightly uphill onto the fairway near the green, so that is one to take a token on. But if not, then play with the Guardian and go with max backspin as I do here. Leave the second bounce short and left of pin to compensate for the wind push we get, because we have tailwind going from left to right, so that will extend the ball guide that is shown on screen. True club distance, 10% elevation here. Don't need to worry about compensating for the loss of distance, because I've already factored that in with leaving the ball guide slightly short as well. Perfect ball has a chance. This is a tricky one to dial in because there is a very high second bounce, which we'll see just there, so the wind will affect that a little bit. Very unlucky here, we hit the pin and roll a short distance away, but a couple of options to consider on the 5th hole. We now move on to a par 5, and once again I'm going to play with the quarterback. There is an aggressive option on the right hand side with an APOC, but you would need a power 5 wind 3 ball really if you want to try and go for the rough bump, playing with curl on the drive from the APOC. But here, for a more general club level, the bounce over with the quarterback, plenty of left spin needed here, setting up at +9 with the quarterback level 10, and the adjustment is max distance, 10% elevation. A little bit of left curl here, outer wall left curl, ball touching the outside wall of the adjustment ring to the left, hitting perfect there. Minor great left, minor great right, I would think would be fine with the quarterback or the rock, of course. And we want to lay up towards the end of the fairway, drive distance of 304. Playing this route really takes the albatross out of the equation unless you are really lucky, but it does secure the eagle, and if you're not confident in going for the rough bump, then this will be the approach for you. Adding spin, we need all the right spin and some back spin as well, and we're setting up with a red ring touching the rough, because I'm going to use a bit of curl, especially in this wind angle, so I don't want to set up too close to the rough. That also safeguards against hitting a great right. Second bounce just on the beginning of the fringe, and the ball guide aiming left of pin. Then we are adjusting true club distance, 5% elevation, because I'm 2 yards away from max. I'm deducting 2.5% slider, so this one is played at 95% slider, 5% elevation. More information on club distance using a slider and min, mid and max on the Academy tutorial playlist on the channel homepage. Bit of right curl brings it in nicely. Not a bad attempt, very easy eagle putt though, which is all we can ask, playing safely on the left side. Hole number 7, a difficult one to dial in here. The wind angles will have quite an effect on the trajectory of the ball because of the long second bounce. But the quarterback is the play. 2.6 backspin, 2.3 side spin to the right. It will vary depending what wind angle you have. That is what is working in this one for me though. I'm looking at the blue ring touching the beginning of the fringe and the blue ring also touching the rough on the right, and that's a setup I'd be using regardless of the wind angle because it gives me a nice consistent bounce. Mid plus 20 is the adjustment for this particular direction. No curl, just hit perfect. Like I said, tough one to drop here. Getting the speed right is difficult on this green. It slopes up to the pin, flattens out and then slopes away, but we get a lovely speed here, hitting the pin and falling nicely for a hole in one, but this is a tricky par 3. Number 8 here, and we get tailwind. We've got to go aggressive, and we've got maximum wind strength in expert level here to give you an idea of what you could be dealing with. In pro it's a little bit trickier because your wind strength will be less, but we want to get down that fairway as much as possible. We're going here with plenty of topspin, 2 bars side spin to the left, setting up at plus 24 with the APOC 5 and above. At APOC 4 that will be at max, so you can play this with lower level APOC. Extra mile 9 could work as well, as could the big topper. Little bit of a push up depending on the wind strength. This was dialed in from a previous tournament. Full overpower with a slow needle. Don't need to push up to max because then you would land directly in a hazard and not bounce over at all. So this is one where you need to look at the wind direction. But a nice slower needle helps me hit perfect, and we get the ball down very nicely with the top spin and the tailwind. Drive distance of 448 yards. If you can't get distance on the drive, there is a rough bump that can be played here. Layup, that is usually with the sniper. And if you're mid-distance on the fairway, you can go grizzly or long iron. But here I'm playing with the thorn because I gained plenty of distance on the drive. I was doing a back fringe check because, like I said before, this was dialed in from a previous tournament. Different wind angles that you may get would need different reference points as well. But I'm playing a no-spin shot, leaving the ball guide short of the pin because of the tailwind. And it's true club distance, really, and it's 20% elevation. This plays considerably downhill. If you have crosswind here and you've got down there enough with your drive, maybe using a top spin ball. If you haven't had enough tailwind, then you might want to increase the elevation because you've got the side wind on the second bounce, so it's going to affect the ball a bit more. But here, a perfect ball away, and we drop it nicely for an eagle on this par 4. Albatross finish coming up here, playing with the extra mile with 6 bars of topspin. You could do this drive with 4.5 topspin if you don't have extra mile 8 or any other driver with 6 topspin, but you need to go with a bit more overpower. Setting up at max distance, power 3 ball, then I'm adjusting max plus 10 on this one, and the idea is we want to bounce firstly on the fairway, second bounce in the rough, and then the topspin will roll us out nicely onto the next piece of fairway. We could push up as well to compensate for not having 6 topspin available, depending what clubs you have available, but there you see the topspin grabs very nicely, and we want to approach the end of that shadow around 365 yards. Second shot is going to be played with our long iron. If you're worried about being short on the drive, then you might want to go with the Goliath here, but a decent distance and sufficient topspin, you can use the Grizzly. Red ring touching the rough, ball guide I'm putting there just through the hole, and I've previously checked my club distance on this one, and I'm going to play this true club distance 5% elevation. True club distance plus 5. So if you're near max, we'll play it near max on the slider. But if you think you're mid, then you'll play mid distance. You have to judge depending on the distance of your drive. You could use drive yardage notes as well if you're dialing in yourself. Perfect ball away. Maybe just misestimated the slider. We just sneak it in on the right side, but it falls nicely for the Albatross. Thanks very much for watching this video here on the channel. If it has helped you in any way, please consider sharing it amongst your friends and clanmates in the game. Join us also on Facebook. Head over there, search for BK Golf Clash and join our free group. Loads of members there sharing shots. Free guides are posted, as well as loads of other great Golf Clash resources. So check us out there. You can join in the discussion and also leave feedback on the game in general. Finally, if you wish to help support the channel and keep the content free for everybody, please consider becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the video description down below. Good luck, see you soon, bye for now.